Hello again. Hello. Glad to have you back for another episode of the Vanguard Fitness Hour. I am Mario Kuntz, the fitness guru, and as always, I'm pleased to bring to you the latest and greatest health and wellness and fitness information available so that you can be kept abreast of what's out there, trends, different things that you can be following in terms of nutrition and health sciences and exercise, everything that's going to help you become the optimal version of you. So, as always, I've got 20 pounds of fitness information, motivation, and inspiration to stuff into a 10-pound bag. So it's time to get going. Once again, I'm glad you're here. Today is Friday, April 30th, last day of the month, and we got a lot of information to cram in to 1 hour of a time frame, and we're going to make the most out of it. Thanks for being here. So, our first topic that we're going to discuss, usually, and we're not going to break trends, today I'm going to start off with what's new with the fitness guru. And I am pleased to announce that Myriad doors have been opening up, doors and windows of opportunity, and I intend to take full advantage of each one of them. I've had people come out to me and respond in the manner that, they've heard about me or things that I've been doing, or they've watched the broadcast, or they've heard from a referral about the work that I do in terms of physical therapy or exercise rehabilitation therapy or weight loss or personal training or seminars or workshops. I got a ton of feedback from the appearance that I made in Maui. So when I was doing some presentations and workshops and seminars there on that beautiful island. And it has just been fantastic. And I'm very appreciative of it, and look forward to making the most of each one of those opportunities. So it has been fantastic. Broadcast location. So most of you are used to seeing me in the setting of my physical therapy office. So I'm actually at a new location today, and you're going to see more and more of that as I start to partner with other individuals and start to broadcast from different facilities. The weather's finally starting to break, and I hope it stays that way, but I'm looking forward to doing even some outdoor broadcasts. So you're going to see some different locations, you're going to see some different scenery and exposed to some different things, but it's going to be the exact same great content that I'm used to bringing to you each and every week here on the Vanguard Fitness Hour. The expansion of my rehabilitation therapy and physical therapy practice. So again, I mentioned the fact that I've been partnering with some other individuals, and I've been networking and meeting some different folks that can utilize the services that an exercise rehabilitation therapist or physical therapist brings to the table. I love that aspect of what I do in terms of health and wellness, because with physical therapy, with exercise rehabilitation therapy, it's not so much that I'm working with athletes that are looking to perform better, or individuals that are looking to get ready for a photo shoot, or they're looking to drop a few pounds so that they look better. All those are great goals. But with physical therapy and exercise rehabilitation therapy, what you're actually doing is improving a person's quality of life that may not have had that prior to starting therapeutic services. So you're taking someone that may have difficulty with the most mundane acts that you can go through during a day: getting out of bed, bending over to pick up a dropped item, playing with a child, walking up a flight of stairs, and you're getting to the point where they are not just hindered by pain or by limited range of motion. You're taking someone and you're enhancing their quality of life. You're helping them to be more comfortable in their own skin. And what could be more gratifying than that? So there have been quite a few new opportunities that I'm looking forward to taking advantage of. And as they come to pass, I'm going to make sure I share each and every one of those with you. So very excited about that. Brand new gear. And I would be remiss if I did not mention the fact, or point out the fact, that I'm wearing some new gear. New shirt, all right? It's got the logo right on it, Vanguard Exercise Management, with the logo on it. I got a hat here, and it is got the Vanguard Exercise Management logo on it with the name of the company. On the back, hopefully I'm turning this the right way, but you can see the Vanguard motto: train hard, eat clean, stay focused. Where did this come from? All right, this is compliments of one of my biggest supporters, one of my greatest nearest and dearest friends, Miss Verdell Burns, and she took the time to design this shirt, get it all laid out, have it printed and sent to me. It was a total surprise when I got to my office and I saw this box laying on my desk and opened it up. And right away, as soon as I saw it, I knew exactly where it came from. So, Verdi Burns, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for getting this to me, and it fits like a glove. It is beautiful. I was speechless when I got it, and I really appreciate what you did for me. So, thank you so much. I am wearing this with pride. Really appreciate it. Next up, new clients for services. I mentioned this a little bit earlier on. But the word, again, has really gotten out, and that is really the purpose of this broadcast. I just want to reach more people. I want to be able to have an opportunity to improve more lives. So with every broadcast, if I get just one person that reaches out and says, you know what, I could stand to lose some weight, or I could stand to be more fit, or I'm going to reach my goal this year, and I'm going to become a better version of myself. I'm not going to just accept this debilitating pain that I have in my joints. I'm not going to just accept the fact that, I've got this frozen shoulder or my sciatica is hindering me from enjoying life. No, I'm going to do something about it. And I think this person, this Mario Kuntz, this so-called fitness guru, is going to be the person to help me to get to that point. I'll take that all day long. Give me a call, reach out to me. You can contact me through a couple different means. You can reach out to me through Facebook. The Vanguard Exercise Management is the Facebook page. Instagram, it's Vanguard, Vanguard, MGT, followed by the number 1. That'll connect you with my Instagram account. Or you can simply send me an email, Vanguard, Vanguard, MGT, as in Mark George Thomas, at yahoo.com. So any of those methods, you can reach out to me. Let me know what it is that how I can help, what it is that you're looking to do, where you're looking to make improvements, and I will do my best to put together a program, a regimen, whatever it takes to make sure that you achieve those goals. So thank you very much. All right, I really appreciate it. Keep it coming. Keep the feedback coming. Love hearing from you, and I'm just looking for an opportunity to just help more people than I ever have before, and this broadcast is a great vehicle to allow me to do that. Next up, the Vanguard Commentary. Now, the Vanguard Commentary section of the show is basically where I take a topic and I share my thoughts, my outlook, my opinions of that subject matter. And for this week's Vanguard Commentary, what I decided to discuss was the prevalence of dialysis facilities, particularly in low-income areas. Now, I'm in the south suburbs of Chicago. However, I do spend a good amount of time in the city. And not just in the city, but also in the suburbs, you're seeing these dialysis facilities pop up like weeds. They are everywhere. And on every corner, they're as common as you might see a liquor store or a convenience store. There seems to be one on every corner or every other corner. What's the reason for this? Okay, when you're talking about low-income areas, why is it that those types of facilities would be so prevalent in that type of a neighborhood? Well, there's several factors. When you're talking about low income, usually you're talking about limited access to health care. You're talking about certain lifestyle challenges. Maybe there's a higher degree of environmental pollutants. Maybe the food choices are not where they should be. People are eating poor quality food, either by choice or perhaps they're in a food desert where they don't have regular access to healthy, nutritious foods. Individuals that suffer from certain medical conditions, things like diabetes, are like a precursor to kidney failure. So you're seeing more and more of these things. And typically when you're talking about dialysis facilities and some of the primary causes, and some of those causes are things like eating too much processed foods, foods that contain excessive amounts of sugar, foods that are high in sodium content, smoking, overuse of pain relievers. Those types of things are kind of the doorway that leads to kidney failure. So when you're seeing more and more of that in that area, I tend to look for what are some of the signs of that. Well, in a lot of low-income areas, when it comes to food, what do you see? Usually there's a lot of crappy food, fast food that's available readily. as opposed to sources of fresh foods and vegetables and fresh meats and those sorts of things. You're seeing your, and I don't want to name particular names, but you know what they are. You're seeing your burger places. You're seeing your fried fish places. You're seeing your fried chicken places. You know, all these food items, these food sources that produce food at low prices typically, but have little to no nutritional value. And the more that you put into your body, you're just opening the door for a lot of different ailments. In this case, kidney disease. And kidney failure, particularly renal kidney failure, is no picnic. It's a disease that's very debilitating, life-threatening in a lot of cases, and it changes your entire way of life. So as I started to investigate these, I started looking through some white papers. I started looking at some online videos. I started going through some courses. I started talking to people, and you're starting to see more and more cases of these facilities, popping up, these dialysis facilities. And there's a couple that are really out there that just seem to be taking the lead on all of this, to the point where you're starting to have aldermen and politicians rally against, why are these popping up in our communities more so than others? Well, there are certain, it comes down to the case of what happens when you follow the money. You usually get to the source or the root of the problem. And these things are profitable. You don't have a facility that offers free transportation, free pickup, and free drop-off so you can come in and get your dialysis treatment and we'll take you back, unless there's a pot of gold at the end of that rainbow. So people are making money off of the sickness of others. And that's the biggest reason why you're starting to see these. But as I started going through this rabbit hole of information, about dialysis facilities and the causes and the profitability and the future projections, it all started to make sense. And there's just so much of it that it expanded way beyond me putting together a simple commentary, to the point where I'm actually going to do an entire show on the prevalence of kidney dialysis facilities and what we can do to make sure that we're not in a position where we even need to visit these types of things. So I've got a guest that's going to be coming on. I recently had a discussion with her. In fact, it was in the last few days, and she happens to work in dialysis. She's going to be coming on. She's going to be sharing some really eye-opening information. And she's going to share that with the viewers. So I'm really looking forward to having her on as a guest and diving into, again, the root cause of what's going on with all these dialysis facilities that we're starting to see all over the place. So be sure to be on the lookout for that, okay? Our Vanguard Fitness Word of the Week. I haven't done this one for a while. Looking forward to sharing this new one. So what I'm going to be talking today is concentric versus eccentric. When we're talking about exercising, what does it mean when you perform a concentric exercise? What does it mean when you perform an eccentric exercise? So I'm going to show you and explain the differences between the two. I'm going to use the example of a bicep curl. So with concentric and eccentric, concentric movement occurs when the muscle contracts. Eccentric movements occur when the muscle elongates. So using the example of a bicep curl, I'll show you. I've got a couple dumbbells here, right? Now, the typical bicep curl posture, I'm going to rotate the palms outward, right? Nice little base with the feet. I'm going to curl the dumbbells up. This is a concentric movement. The muscle is contracting. What do I mean by contracting? As I pull that dumbbell up, the muscle tightens, okay? The eccentric portion is as I let that weight come back down, and now the muscle starts to elongate. That's eccentric. So when I perform a bicep curl using proper form, I'm going to come up, contracting the muscle. This is my concentric movement, and then easing that dumbbell back down so the muscle elongates. Concentric, eccentric. Curling the dumbbells up, allowing the dumbbells to go back down. That's the difference between a concentric movement and an eccentric movement. So hopefully that helped to give you a little clarity as far as that goes. All right. Next up, today in fitness news, got a couple articles that I found to be pretty fascinating and very interesting. The first one, with this pandemic and we've all been cooped up, the clubs haven't been open. a lot of the sites and locations that people would typically go to on a date, not available. A lot of people are starting to feel the effects of it, loneliness, isolation, and all the negative things that go along with that. So I found this story to be very interesting. The title of it is Tinder Fat Friendly? So this story was written by a young woman by the name of Cheyenne, 26 years old, and what she wanted to do was to share her experiences with the reader in terms of what it was like for her to go on an online dating site, in this case Tinder, and get out there and try to meet some people, and maybe meet someone that was nice enough to date and maybe start a relationship with, but doing that as a large woman. Okay, this Cheyenne is she considers herself to be obese, but does that mean that she should not have the opportunity to date? Okay, so that's what this was all about. So I'm going to just go through a little bit of it, because again, I did find it to be pretty interesting. This is just a bit of a snippet from her profile. Cheyenne lists herself as a 26-year-old freelance journalist, fat activist, startup owner, graphic designer, award-winning podcaster, anime aficionado, and cat mom. I speak French and English. She loves all types of music, and then it kind of goes on and tells a little bit more about her. But, so far so good, right? So, just a bit of the information that she shared. Despite it being around for years, she's talking about online dating, people are flocking to online dating services with more urgency, myself included, she states. She states that most of these dating apps boast about having a diverse membership base and how they integrate new features to support all people who utilize their platform. So she's basically saying that, these are diverse, they claim to be diverse platforms where, anyone can go in and find a potential mate, right? In this case, she said that the most problematic app of all of these was Tinder. The app, which was created in 2012 from the ingenious collaboration between Sean Rad, his college friends, and a woman who shortly left to create another online dating site, which was Bumble, they use a swipe format, and that stems from the old concept of hot or not, right? Where you swipe in one direction if you like the person, you swipe in another if you don't, right? So if you deem someone to be attractive, and typically those turn out to be attributes that are considered to be physically attractive, eye appealing, those are the people that, you swipe the one direction on. Let's just say it's to the right, okay? And if someone is unappealing to you, you swipe to the left. So you basically kick them to the curb before you've even had a chance to learn about them, right? So when she talks about creating her profile, in my opinion, creating a profile on Tinder is the easiest part of the process. I picked my top 9 photos, making sure to include as many full-body pictures as possible to avoid being accused of being a villainous fat girl to dupe men with bodily ambiguous images. Okay, so she's putting it all out there. She's saying that I'm a big girl. This is what I look like. I'm not just going to show a headshot, which a lot of times you'll get on social media. She's giving you the whole love me or don't kind of a package. She's presenting it all. No secrets left to chance, all right? She goes on and talks about how she created her profile and some of the information that she put up. Let's see. So I'm going to pick up from where I left off when I initially started that reading about her through her profile. She loves all types of music, and I have a secret talent for cooking and baking, looking to build lasting connections with friends, and a fun-loving, humorous partner in crime to take over the world with. Sounds pretty cool, right? She talks about her passions, which are astrology, tattoos, Black Lives Matter, writing, and cooking. Okay? So she goes on, all this sounds great, right? Now, her reporting process, or the reporting process that's used with Tinder. She states that there is literally nothing monumental about the steps that this app takes to protect its users. Okay, she's reported, since she set up this profile, she's reported several instances of sexual harassment and bullying on this app, and they subject you to reliving the trauma and aggravation of these situations by having you to describe the incident over and over, only to never follow up on the matter. Additionally, there are so many profiles with sexually explicit content and they're never removed. So these are the kind of things that she went through as setting up her profile. We haven't even gotten to the fact that she's overweight, right? This app is her verdict, her summary of everything. These are in her own words. This app is truly ratchet. And it really does nothing to serve the fat community, let alone within the space of individuals who look like me. However, I know so many accounts of people finding significant others and even marriage partners on this app. She also knows that most of those people happen to be thin. I've even consulted with other fat folks to get a scope of their experiences, and they have noted that they only see that thinner people are being asked on whole dates or real dates, while overweight people are being propositioned to perform sexual activities that I can't even mention on this broadcast. So basically, individuals that are overweight on this site, according to her, are limited in terms of why they're being contacted in the first place. Let's see. She says that in her experience, the only true difference that her experience is that she's run across an endless stream of likes from BBW admirers, non-black chubby chasing woke fishers. So basically, it sounds to me like she's describing individuals from other races that are maybe looking to experiment a little bit. And your local street pharmacist who's looking at Tinder as a way to procure clients and promote their latest products. While using both membership plans, and she set up two of them. Okay, one is a kind of an introductory platform, and the other one is more advanced with more features and that sort of thing. I've experienced men who have sent me messages that lack salutation, so they're not even saying hello, but cut right to the chase of hypersexualizing and objectifying my body without my consent, only to become volatile or angry or pissed off when they're called out for it. On the flip side, I've initiated messages where I introduce myself, resulting in no responses or immediate unmatches. I've even received communication from me telling me that their sole purpose in messaging me was to inform me that I was too fat to be attractive. She's received a lot of messages where men not only fetishize her for being fat, but also are pushing to have sex with her, even when she has explicitly stated that she is not interested in casual encounters. So she's looked at as a novelty item almost, because she is a larger woman. Here's just an excerpt of one of the contacts that was made, and I'm going to wrap with this. This is obviously pieces of a conversation that she had with someone that was reaching out to her. Got it, makes sense. Over time, hoping to get there. Not really sure where that was going, but obviously something led up to it. Just assume that during this pandemic and an expected second wave, we all have sexual needs that need to be filled. And I wanted to be the individual who could help you with yours. This is the guy talking to Cheyenne. She responds, I appreciate it, but that's not where I'm at. The guy responds back, respect that. I just got out of a relationship, so looking for something casual and fun. She responds, okay, I respect that also. He responds, LOL, thanks, but I guess you're not interested. You seem chill and interesting, and I like thick-colored women, so I was interested. So this is the kind of thing that she's experiencing when she is going on a social media site like Tinder. Doesn't sound too appealing. So is it because that she's getting this type of feedback? Does it have anything to do with the fact that she is, she's overweight, she's a large woman. But again, that does not mean that she needs to be disrespected or she should be looked at or viewed as less than. It just means that she's looking for companionship just like anybody else. But I think because of her weight and because of the types of individuals that you do have on a lot of these social media sites, again, it's very visual. All right, so if you look a certain way, people are going to have more interest in you, and if you don't fit that category, it's again that swipe right, swipe left thing. So maybe social media is not the best vehicle for people to cultivate healthy relationships. So it's just something to think about. Again, I found it to be quite fascinating. So is Tinder fat friendly was the first article of the day. The next article that I want to share with you falls in the category of celebrity fitness news. The title of this one is Arnold Schwarzenegger said that cutting out bread helped him to lose weight, but dietitians say a calorie deficit is more important than banning carbs because bread is known to contain a significant amount of carbohydrates. I like this art. No, I love this article because it really reinforces the line of thinking that I've always tried to preach and profess to individuals. It is not about the types of food so much. Weight loss is not rocket science. It basically comes down to establishing a caloric deficit. Calories in must be exceeded by calories out. Very simple formula, and everything is built from there. So, in this article, just kind of summarizing some of the key points, Arnold Schwarzenegger said in his newsletter that he cut out bread to help him lose weight. Losing weight comes down to, however, being in a calorie deficit. So, and where you cut those calories is up to you. Okay? Now, what does that mean? I'm going to get into that a little bit. Some people might find it easy to overeat bread, right? So cutting it out helps them to establish or hit a calorie deficit. Okay? If you really like something, if I like potato chips, okay, and I'm finding that I'm eating them frequently throughout the day, and I cut potato chips out of my diet, I'm going to start to lose some weight because now I've got an entire calorie source that's no longer being consumed by me. I'm not taking that in anymore. Okay. It also states that it's not bread that makes you lose weight magically, but it is the reduction in calories and of good tasting foods being a good way to eat a bit less and to help or assist you with losing the weight. Instead, however, of focusing on certain foods or food groups to cut out of your diet in order to lose weight, it's more of a sound strategy to focus on having more nutritionally balanced and a varied diet, including different types of food with appropriately sized portions. Okay, so portion control, portion size is very vital in this procedure, this process when it comes to weight loss, right? Remember that food is more than calories, okay? There are nutrients that go into a lot of foods. I mean, even foods that aren't considered to be particularly healthy do have some nutritional benefit in some, maybe in just a trace amount, maybe some more significant ones depending on what the food item is. Bread contains important nutrients such as calcium, iron, and B vitamins like niacin and thiamine. And these are necessary for the healthy function of bodily operations, right? Brown bread, for example, because a lot of people say, well, I'll just eat more brown bread and not the white. Brown bread does contain a bit more fiber than white bread, but that doesn't mean that white bread is devoid of total nutritional value. Carbohydrates are the body's main source of energy, okay? That's our fuel source when you're talking about carbs. And we need it to fuel our daily activities. Our brain also needs an adequate supply of energy to help us concentrate and to stay focused. So restricting carbs, what does that do? It can lead to certain nutritional deficiencies, and in turn, we experience things like headaches or lethargy or dizziness or irritability. So again, now, Arnold Schwarzenegger, obviously a big name, has been for quite a while, and if he says something, people are going to pay attention, all right? So he cut bread, so I'll bet you right now people are, discontinuing their purchases of bread products, right? That's not necessarily it, all right? He cut the bread out of his diet for a specific reason. He knew he was trying to lose weight, and he knows that food, that a high source of calories in his diet is made up of bread. So if you cut that, that's why he's experiencing this weight loss, okay? He's no longer taking in this significant source of calories that comes from a particular food item, in this case, bread. You could do the exact same thing, all right? So if you know that a vast amount of your calories or a significant amount comes from the consumption of Pepsi, or maybe you're eating more fried foods than you should, and you stop eating those fried foods, sure, you're gonna lose weight. It's more important, again, to focus on that establishing a caloric deficit. Remember, calories in must be exceeded by calories expended or calories burned. It comes down to that. Everything is built off of that. I profess this going for years now. When I put together meal plans, I build it off of that, establishing a caloric deficit. So keep that in mind as we move forward on our fitness journeys together. That leads to our Vanguard question of the week. Now, This is a carryover from last week because I was running into some problems posting this on our social media site, the Vanguard Exercise Management Facebook page. What I found out is that for whatever reason, Facebook eliminated the ability to post a poll question with more than 2 responses. So it's either A or B, yes or no. Can't go anywhere beyond that, and that was very frustrating. So it took a while for me to figure out how am I going to structure this question of the week. So this is a carryover from last week. The question of the week is, how has your weight been affected by the pandemic? And the options that I'm providing for folks, and this question is up on the site, the Vanguard Exercise Management Facebook page right now. So I want you to make sure that you have a chance to log onto the page and voice your choice on that. So the options that you have to respond to that question, how has your weight been affected by the pandemic, are A, I've gained some weight. B, I've actually lost some pounds. Or C, no change. I've been able to maintain my pre-pandemic weight. So those are your 3 options. Now, A and B, I've lost some weight, I've gained some weight. Those are actually set up where you can click on one and have your response tabulated. The no change is basically going to take a write-in format. So in that thread, if your weight has not fluctuated either up or down, just type in no change. That's how you'll vote in that poll for your choice if, again, it is no change. Otherwise, the gained weight, lost weight, they're right there registered. So just click on the button for either of those 2. You only need to write in if your example, in your case, you are a no change person. Your weight has not varied at all. So looking forward to having you go onto the site. I'm interested to see what those results are. And, voters, make sure you get a chance to vote. Share that information. I want to hear back from you. I'm very curious to see what the outcome will be. The voting ends 1 week from today. That's going to be Friday, May 7th. So make sure you get on there and vote early, all right? I'm not going to say vote early, vote often, because that indicates fraud, right? We don't want that. We just want you to vote one time only, okay? All right. Next, our Vanguard Fitness Tip of the Week, and I've titled this one the Cancer Cutter. The consumption of just 10 grams of fiber per day is linked to a reduced risk of breast cancer. So let that sink in a day. Just 10 grams of fiber, and that is not a lot of fiber intake, can reduce significantly in a lot of cases a person's incident or likelihood that they will develop breast cancer. And keep in mind that men can also develop breast cancer, so this isn't just something for women, all right? What are some of the top sources of fiber? We're talking about beans or brown rice, oats, vegetables, certain nuts, those sorts of things. These are great sources of fiber. So considering increasing your fiber intake so that you can make sure that, again, you have you're eating healthier, you're taking in more nutritious foods, and you're reducing your likelihood of the development of breast cancer. So Cancer Cutter is our Vanguard Fitness Tip of the Week. Next up, our exercise of the week, and that exercise is the Bulgarian split squat. This is a fantastic exercise. You don't see it performed a lot. I use it in my routine frequently when I'm working lower body. But the Bulgarian split squat is designed to target the gluteus maximus, the glutes, the butt, whatever you want to call it, the hamstrings, the quadriceps, and also the hip adductors. Adductors are the muscles along the inner thigh. So I'm going to demonstrate the Bulgarian split squat for you so you can see exactly how that's performed, and maybe you can make the decision to include that in your workout regimen as well. I'm going to take a second and get myself set up. So to perform this exercise, I don't need a lot of equipment, right? So basically it's just a chair. So I've got a couple different options I can use when I'm performing a Bulgarian split squat. What I'm going to do is stand in front of a stable object like a chair so that I can kind of position my foot so it's just on the seat of that chair. From here I'm going to bring my lead foot out just a bit, okay? Now, with an upright position, I'm going to descend utilizing those gluteal muscles, the hamstrings, the quadriceps, my hip adductors to allow me to descend and rise at a steady and controlled pace. Eyes forward, I'm going to start my descent. I'm going to drive up, and I can really feel all those muscles working in unison to stabilize me, to allow me to descend under control, and really target those muscles. I want to avoid leaning forward when I perform these. Straight down, under control. I want to drive through and and complete however many repetitions I've decided. After that point, I'm going to switch. Same deal. I want to stabilize myself. Straight down for a descent and driving up. Always want to try to tie in our breathing exercises into this movement as well. So I'm going to inhale as I descend. I'm going to exhale as I come back up. If I want a little bit more challenge, what I'm going to do is utilize dumbbells. Dumbbell in each hand. Again, I go back to my position, upright. Bulgarian split squats. And switch. Inhale down. Exhale up. There we have it, Bulgarian split squats. All right. Hopefully that's an exercise that you see fit to include your next workout when you're working at lower body exercises. So something that you might want to think about including. Next up, our show topic. And this is something that's really near and dear to me, choosing the right personal trainer. Because so many people are out there and they're looking to do something different. They're looking to become more fit. They're looking to try different exercises. They want to find out, well, how can I do this? I've got a whiteboard. And I want to share this with you. Hopefully, I'm in view. And it looks like I'm lined up pretty good. So, when people are looking for an opportunity to get more fit, a lot of times what they do is they look for someone to help them out a little bit. In this case, they may want to find out about utilizing the services of a personal trainer. When you're doing that, there are certain things you want to look out for. I'm going to highlight and outline a lot of the things the qualities that you may want to look out for when you're choosing or making the decision to utilize the services of a certified personal trainer. First, I want to look at that person's certification or their credentials. So there are certain different certifying agencies, different bodies that will actually validate a person, stating that they have the knowledge, the ability, they've demonstrated their educational background, they have the skill set required to train someone, to show them what they need to do in order to exercise using proper form, establish good eating habits, all those sorts of things. So you have to be certified. When you're certified in that area, you're going beyond just looking at a magazine article. and replicating some exercise routine that you found in that. You've actually studied, you've put in the time, you've put in the coursework, you know what it is that you're doing. You're going to be able to benefit someone. And by doing that, you've established the fact that you are an authority in this area. You definitely want to ask about the person's credentials or their certification. What are they carrying? I'm always proud to let individuals know that ask me that I am a card-carrying member. My certification is through the International Sports Sciences Association. There's others. There's ACE. There's NASM. You can research quite a few of them. Find out which one the person that you're interviewing holds. They should be able to show proof of that to you. So don't be shy to ask, all right? Next one is experience. I have been in the fitness industry for about 21 years. Okay, so I spent a lot of time learning and training, and along the way I've made mistakes. Along the way I've had many successes. However, experience matters. So when you're making that decision to go with the services of a personal trainer, find out about their experience level. My suggestion, typically younger personal trainers or people that are just getting started may not have the qualities that you want. Of course, they're going to have to learn at some point, but depending on where you are and what it is that your goals are, you might want to go with someone that's more established, that has more of a knowledge base, that has seen and done things, as opposed to someone that's just freshly, has just more recently acquired a certification as a personal trainer. So keep that in mind. That may be a determining factor when you're talking about, this is the person I want to spend my money with, I want to spend my time with, that I'm relying on to bring me the best personal training services available. So keep that in mind, that person's experience level. Next up, I consider this to be a key point. Personality. What kind of personality does the person have that you're looking to perform your personal training services? The person that you're going to be working with on a one-on-one basis for an extended amount of time in some cases. Do you deal better with someone that's barking orders at you like a drill sergeant, or someone who's more of a coach, or someone who's more of a listener? Is having a friendly, outgoing, and jovial personality important to you? Or do you prefer the strong, silent type? Don't say a lot, just show me what to do. These decisions factor in to your qualifications for selecting a personal trainer. So you want to make sure that you're matching someone that is aligned with your own personality. What are you going to receive best? Okay, if you don't like being told what to do, the drill sergeant type is probably not going to work with you. I tend to be more of a relationship establisher. So I want to find out about you. I want to find out what's going on. I want to find out how you dealt with things, the after effects of your last session. Where did you maybe fall by the wayside in terms of your eating habits in between your sessions? Did you do a lot of the exercise that I gave you, I recommended you perform on your own, not just when you're with me? So I like to have that conversation, that back and forth rapport. That might not work for some people, and I understand that. But for some people, you might want to consider, what is the personality of the individual like that you're considering to hire as your personal trainer? Keep that in mind. Next up, what is the person's philosophy? What do they believe when it comes to fitness? I can express my philosophy. When I train with someone, I have certain expectations. I want you to make sure that this is a lifestyle choice. This isn't something that you're just doing for the short haul. Maybe you've got that, you're doing it because you're trying to get in shape for a class reunion, or you're trying to make cut weight so you can fit in a dress or a suit, or whatever the case might be, and that's the end of it. With me, it's a lifestyle. This is something that's totally ongoing. This is a part of you, and I try to instill that in my clientele. I want to make sure that they accept that. So when they leave and they're away from me, maybe their next session isn't for 4 or 5 days or whatever. That doesn't mean you just sit and become sedentary. I'm going to give you exercise that I expect you to perform during your own time. My philosophy is to basically train a person to the level where they don't need me anymore. I know that sounds insane, but it's a lot like kicking the baby bird out of the nest, all right? I want you to come in. I want you to learn how to do it. I want you to become proficient at it. But eventually, I want you to be to the point where you know how to train yourself. Now, if you want to come back to me and for some refreshers and that sort of thing, that's fine. I have no problem with that. But I don't want you to be totally dependent on me either. I want you to take the knowledge that I share with you, and I want you to use it to your advantage. That's my personal philosophy. Find out about the philosophy of the individual that you may be using to become your personal trainer, if that's a decision that you decide to make. Next up, specialties. What is the person's specialty? What do they specialize in? Okay, if you're looking for, you have a specific goal in mind. Maybe you want to be able to swim 20 laps around the pool. Okay, and that's a very logical goal if that's important to you. However, you're not going to come to somebody like me for that. Okay, I'm not a swim instructor. That is not my area of expertise. You want to find someone that specializes in swim training. If you're looking to do long distance running, you want to hire someone that is experienced in long distance running, and they should be able to prove that to you through the contacts that they have, the people that they've worked with, the facilities that they've associated and aligned themselves with, those sorts of things. So these are just determinants of what you want to focus in on when you're looking to make that decision to hire someone. All right. Now, for me, my area of expertise is weight loss. It is bodybuilding. It is toning. It is establishment of muscle definition. It is injury recovery. It is exercise rehabilitation. So those are some of my areas of expertise. Just make a determination in terms of what it is that you're looking for, and then match the individual to the needs that you have. It should not be the other way around. All right? Next up. And I purposely have this one in green. Cost. What's it going to cost? Okay? There's a wide range of cost structures for personal trainers out there. You want to find something that's going to meet your budget, something that's not going to put you out to the point where you're not able to take care of your basic necessities. You want to make sure that the cost lines up with what your desired goals and results are. Okay, so costs can be all over the board. There's all kinds of different trainers that charge all kinds of different fees. You want to find out exactly what that is. Do they have an individual rate? Do they charge a group rate? Do they have a partner rate? That's kind of a structure that I utilize. Do they have packages that are available? Are there any discounts that are available? Maybe if you purchase a certain amount of training sessions, you get another one half off or another one free. Different things like that. So ask those questions. Don't be shy about it. What's it going to cost? Now, that should not be the overall determinant. The overall determinant for selecting someone is your health and making sure that you meet your goals. But you do want to make sure that in some ways, those costs line up with what you're able to do, okay? Comfortably. Next up. Availability. When is that person going to be available to you? Okay, you've got a set schedule, right? You've got times that are available, whether it be after work or first thing in the morning or maybe on a weekend or whatever. You need to find someone that is going to be able to match up consistently with the schedule that you have. Okay, if it's not going to be a good fit, then you may need to make a decision and go in a different direction. So you want to make sure, when is that person available? Do they have evening sessions? Do they have morning or midday sessions? Are they available on weekends? Do they train on holidays? Get all that information up front. That's going to be very important when you're talking about making your overall decision. Okay? Next up. Some people are comfortable working in a gym. Open area, lots of people, right? Some people prefer the comfort and limited access of a fitness studio. Okay? Some people like outdoor training. Some folks, it's important for them to have someone come to their residence, their place of business. So where's the person located? Are you comfortable, driving 20 miles to get to your next session? Or are you the person that needs to have that facility, that person, within walking distance of you? Okay, because otherwise you're not going to stick with it. So take that into consideration when you're making your personal training selection decision. Where is the person located? Where are the sessions going to take place? Those sorts of things are going to be significantly important. Progress. How is progress going to be measured? Is it measured in terms of enhanced cardiovascular strength or endurance? Now I'm able to run further without getting winded. Is it measured in terms of strength? I'm able to perform more repetitions with heavier weights. Is it progress measured through weight loss? What is it? What are the factors that your progress is going to be measured upon? Ask that question, find out, so that though you can match those goals to what it is that you're looking to achieve. So find out how does that personal trainer measure progress? What's progress to them, and how does that align with what your goals are? Find out about that one. Last one is reputation. How can you find out about an individual's reputation? We can ask. You can ask for references. Do they have someone that they can talk to, a prior client that they've worked with, maybe a facility that they were employed at, either currently or in the past. What is the word that you can find out? Social media can reveal a lot. Do they have any information or photos of transformations that they've been directly responsible for? Can you talk to those people? It's a lot different than doing your research when you're trying to make a decision in terms of making a place to live, or if you're just doing a little bit of background check on someone. Do the same thing with your personal trainer. Find out as much information as you can, because that's going to be putting you in a better decision, in a better place to make a good decision. All right, so these are your factors when you're trying to make a decision in terms of choosing not just any personal trainer, but the right personal trainer. The right personal trainer for who? The right personal trainer for you. Choosing the right personal trainer. Certification and credentials. Experience. Personality. Philosophy. Specialty. Cost. Availability. Location. Progress. And finally, reputation. Keep all these things in mind when you're making that decision to select a personal trainer, and you're going to be much happier with the results. Hopefully this information helped you out a little bit, okay? Going to get rid of that. And start our wrap up. All right. So that kind of brings us to a close for today's show. Again, I hope that you got some good information out of that. Always enjoyable meeting with you in this setting, and looking forward to the next show. Next show, actually, we will be having a very interesting guest that's going to be coming on with us. Let me get that volume down just a little bit. So next week, we're going to be visited by a good friend of mine, and that is Dr. Gary Tennant. Dr. Gary Tennant is he's a chiropractor. He's a specialist in the area of functional medicine. What, in fact, is functional medicine? A lot of people might ask. Functional medicine basically is a system of biology that has the goal of getting to the root cause of disease. It's not just treating symptoms, it's treating the root cause. What is the reason that I have this ailment that I'm dealing with? So Dr. Gary Tennant is going to join us next week to talk about that. So make sure you tune in again next week for the Vanguard Fitness Hour. And until next time, remember the Vanguard motto: train hard, eat clean, stay focused. Take care, everybody.